survive without immigrants. That's for sure. We are the helpline here. Mm, Not only you, I came here as an immigrant. I am an immigrant and I got my permanent residency in 2016. Since then, I'm contributing to this community. I'm not just sitting home and taking the advantage of the, you know, services they're giving us or the amenities we are getting. We are also contributing. I'm paying taxes as well. I'm being a good resident of that too. I'm following the rules, everything, and I'm trying to contribute to the economy as well. Same thing you guys are doing too. If you are sitting here, you're studying, you're also paying the fees, you're also working, you're helping people out too. Uh, that is the truth of this country, that they cannot survive without immigration. I want to give you guys an example. In England, a few years back, the same thing happened. They have stopped all the programs. The study was stopped. Everything was stopped. Well, the only thing that survived was work permits for temporary foreign workers because they couldn't stop. The reason being they didn't have people to do the labor jobs in the country. They didn't have people to do. No doubt they need high skilled people, but there are jobs like, let's say I have a restaurant. I need basic pay people. Where do I get from? Cities like this, they survive for labor. They don't have labor. They always have labor short. Even Austin was telling me that he's by himself. He was by himself yesterday at his store. He had no help. So where are we going to get this labor from? Who's coming here to work? I don't see people coming in and standing in the line to do those jobs at the moment. I don't know why people are saying that we are taking their jobs. We are not taking their jobs. We are qualified for those jobs, and we are willing to do whatever we are getting. That's our need is right now, right? We don't throw tantrums that yes, it's a cleaner. No thanks. I can't. I am too qualified for that. No, you have to pay your rent. You have to pay your the tuition fees. You do what you get, and then after that. We know that we have a career to build, and I have done all those sort of jobs as well. But when it was time for me to move forward and do some different tasks, select a different career, I did. I'm here today, right? I have been working like that for the last 6 years. So I don't think we should lose hope. The thing what government is trying to do is prevent fraud at the moment. There's a lot of fraud happening. I don't know if you guys are aware of it or if you're not aware of it. People are giving money to get permanent residency. People are giving money to get work permit. People are giving, there's a whole sort of things going on. So to prevent that, they have strictened the process so that only the people who are eligible are getting the invitations. Or they're pausing it so that it's just not, rushed. Everybody is here, and it could be politics too. I'm not sure. I don't want to say no comments on that. But yeah, they have decided to pause pretty much all the programs. If you go to Alberta, Ontario, Winnipeg, everywhere you go, they will say that some changes has happened. Some changes has happened. So they are trying to tell us that to focus on an occupation which is related to childcare, education, healthcare, technology, science, agriculture, that kind of jobs. So right now, what we need to do is, at present, what we all has to do is choose an occupation wisely. Okay, if you don't have an option to choose, let's say you don't have the skills to do it, or you don't have time to invest in that, you are stuck in a situation, then maintain your status until 2027. At least maintain your status, stay on a legal status. Now the thing is, how would you maintain the status? That one thing that Prince Rupert employers can help for sure. If you're working with your employer, you're a valuable employee, ask them to support your work permit if it's going to expire. How? By doing LMIAs, by providing you support. If you're working in healthcare, you don't even need LMIA. The hospitals can support your work permit. You don't need an LMIA. So survive in the country till 2027 somehow. Okay, if you don't know how, we are here to help, right? I can guide you guys. Maybe we have employers that we can recommend you based on your resume. We can help you be recruited by somebody. Some of our employers, I'm not sure if it's going to be in Prince Rupert, but it could be anywhere else. If you're willing to move, we can support help with that, right? Or if you think you're eligible for PNP programs in any other province, we can do that. to give you all this information, I have to book a one-on-one session with you guys. I can't just go through all the PNP programs and all everything together. You're gonna be at the end of the day, okay, this was some sort of class, but I don't know anything at the end of the session because it's gonna be a lot of information to gain. So I try to focus on BCPNP and plus some alternatives for you guys, what you can look for if you want to do a research on your own behalf. You can look at those programs like, okay, this is what I can maybe focus on. Right now, I think it is not a good idea to stay focused on BCPNP. I would suggest you guys to go for RCIP. There's a new regional program that they opened. There's some communities from BC, those are eligible to. Um, you can apply under RCIP. The other thing that we can do is here as an immigrants who are all the employers and the people who are looking for jobs or immigration here, they can tell their economic development uh, department that we need to bring some sort of program for Prince Rupert that can support permanent residency for regional areas. US come under regional area. It's not that it's a metro city, right? So all mostly communities those are under that RCIP program. Their EDO departments have put an input. They have said we need people here and we need this program in place. We need this program in place. So what we can do, like we have Terry Foster here, right? You have Mayor on your side. If they're supporting immigrants, then why not? We should let them know. These sort of programs, when when they're making these programs, they contact the regional areas, or when they're making those decisions, somebody from here should tell the government that we need to bring some sort of program in Prince Rupert as well. It should be one of the other options too, right? But it only can happen if all the employers in the community goes, right? If they agree, not one person can do much, right? But EDO department has to be convinced, and then they can make some efforts to do that. So, any questions regarding BCPNP you guys have? I would say, go ahead, ask now, and I'll answer.
Is it the category for skilled workers also?
Yes.
And you mentioned about 2 years experience.
Yes.
Regardless of
Where
if
it
it's
is.
the same. Yeah. But does it just apply to? You just mentioned it only in the. Is it the tech category or so? You said it's just attributed to the tech area.
It's not tech only. It can be anywhere. Healthcare, it could be in there. Education department could be there.
Okay.
Agriculture could
Okay,
be there. But the
applies to
knock code
others.
level, the tier level has to be 0 or 1. That's where they're getting the invitation. But the knock codes fall under skilled categories 0, 1, 2, and 3. So your knock code could be any of those. But the thing is, at present, they're not sending an invitation to the tier level 2, 3. Yeah, 2 and 3. 0 and 1 are there.
Yeah. So, and also they must have an express entry profile.
If
right?
you want to
Or-
choose the express entry way, yes.
Okay, they have. So, which do
If
you
n-
advise in that situation now? Which is better?
I'm gonna get next to the express entry as well. Then you can ask that question again, and then I will ask you an answer. You will know by the end which one is better. Um, yes.
You talked about the role of the government, right? That's the last statement you made before the question session. You
Pardon me?
said you talked about the role of the
Yes,
Prince Rupert
yes,
government.
yes.
That somebody needs to talk to the government. So what exactly? I didn't hear that part very well, please.
So EDO department, the Economic Development Department of the city,
Yes.
usually take parts in giving a feedback on behalf of the community to the
Okay.
government,
Okay.
the immigration part of the government.
Okay.
They tell them that we need labor here, we need people here, we need immigrants here, we want to
Yes.
support our community.
Yes.
And then when they're developing RCIP sort of programs, then
Mm-hmm.
our community's name will be there. From RBC, for RCIP, we have the northern side of BC is taking part, because where I studied in Fort St. John.
Yes.
So Fort St. John and Dawson Creek have been asking for years to be
Okay.
part of it, but
Yeah.
this time when they redo the program, they are part of it.
Okay.
So now they can support locally, even if BCPNP not giving them, the option to give PR, they have their own program, RCIP. So
Okay.
Economic Development Department gives the authority to people to hire temporary foreign workers and then give them the permanent residency option.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Terry Foster is still watching, right
Okay.
now. Yeah, from the airport. She's still watching. So
Okay.
I'm sure she's hearing all of these.
Definitely.
I'm going to be knocking at their door.
Sure, sure.
going to let
It
them
has to
know,
be. They mostly
Yeah.
take opinion from employers in the community.
Okay.
So if all the employers take part in that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you guys would need labor, right?
Okay,
It's
so
not
yeah, of
only
course.
labor. I mean, say people to work for you. Doesn't
Of
matter
course, we
what
do.
different skills, right?
Yes.
I had a meeting with City Furniture yesterday, right?
Yes.
The employer from there. He said he needs people.
Yes.
Any skill level, they need somebody to be here. They need to have retention of people, right?
Yes.
They want to keep people for longer term so that they can earn money from the business. Right now, what's
Yeah.
happening is people come and going, and they don't have. They're always short staffed. They said we
Yes.
don't have enough people. And I have heard you mention
I'm
that
suffering
yesterday
that
too.
too,
You're
yeah.
suffering as well,
Yeah.
right? So you all can go and ask the EDO department as well that we need support in
Okay.
this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank
It
you.
will take time, but at the end of the day, you guys will have something.
No,
on hand.
our own won't take time.
It,
Yeah. Won't take time.
They won't take time. Okay, I believe in you, right? So one more thing that I was going to cover regarding BCPNP is which employer is eligible? Who is eligible to support for BCPNP? Austin has asked me too about the eligibility, who can support. So businesses like in Prince Rupert, they should be 1 year old. They should have 3 full-time employees working for them, and that's all they need. The legitimate business, they have a physical location to work for the employee to work at. If they have these 3-4 things, then they're eligible to support your PNP application. BCPNP cannot be applied without an employer's support. There are multiple documents that employer has to give to the employee in terms of submitting a BCPNP application if you get an invitation. So for BCPNP, first step is you generate an EOI, which is expression of interest. Let's say you have 150 score out of 200, right? If you have that, you will get an invitation from BCPNP that we selected you, we nominated you, selected you. Now you can submit your application for nomination. Then you submit your application for PNP using the same portal. When you're submitting that PNP application, you will need these documents from your employer. There's 5 to 7 documents that you need from your employer, such as business license, certificate of incorporation, the declaration form, their company profile, how many people are working there, that sort of information you need, okay? So once your employer provides that, and then you need to have your eligibility requirement documents, those show that you're eligible for this program, you submit that. When you submit that, then BCPNP take their time to process the application. If they think you're eligible and you have provided all the documents, they will contact the employer to make sure that you're working with them. Back and forth, the communication happens and the application gets approved. Once you have the BCPNP nomination, then you're eligible to apply for your PR application. Then you submit your permanent residency application to federal government. Then they take their sweet time to finalize the application. Usually it's 12 to 18 months if it's not a non-express entry. If it's express entry profile, then you get finalized within 6 to 8 months somewhere. Okay, so that's the whole process of doing. So when I say EOI, it is the first step telling the BCPNP that I'm here. Please pick me. Pick my profile, right? That's what it is. So until or unless they don't send you an invitation, that profile is just sitting there. You haven't done anything. Don't think that your PR application is in process. No, it's not. Until or unless they send you an invitation, you are in the queue, basically, okay? So what we need to think about is how to get from that expression of interest to get an invitation. So if it seems like BCPNP is not the right option at the moment, what other options do we have? We need to think about that, okay? One more thing that I want to cover with you guys, that last slide, this is the point system. So you get 40 points for directly related work experience based on if it's 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, how many years of experience you have. Max point you get is 40. Highest level of education, you get 40 points. Let's say your master's degree or you have doctorate. So you get highest points for that. Lowest for the post-secondary, and then if you're secondary, then the minimal. Post-secondary, and then graduation, and post-graduation. That's how the points are divided. Then language proficiency. If you have CLB 10, which is the max you can get, I think, then you get 40 points. and plus French counts in there too. So if you have French, then second language have additional points. High wage, hourly wage, depending on if you are getting paid $16, then you get 0 points pretty much. So higher your wage is, more points you can gain. So 55 points max you can gain. And then area within BC. If you are outside the Metro Vancouver area, then you get additional 25 points for your PNP program. That's the point system there. You can go to BC PNP website and you'll have all the information there. This is basic information that anybody can figure out if you're eligible or not. The typical question is, what is the solution at the moment, right? If you're not eligible. Other option we have is Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. We have RCIP. We have Express Entry French category. And we have other provinces like Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, maybe Alberta as well, depending on what your NOC code is. Alberta could be one of the options too. Ontario could be one of the options too. If somebody is working in early childhood educators program or early childhood educators, I know BC had a flood of educators because the program was open. Now it's saying they won't take assistance, they will only take the educators. Even though the draw is very high, it's impossible at the moment to get into the league there. So if you are early childhood educator, then I think Atlantic provinces would have a better chance for you guys. Plus, you would have better chance in Ontario, but not the GTA area. Don't go to Toronto and expect to have an invitation. Go to regional areas like Barrie is one of them, Kingston is one of them. So if you go there, then you get the chance of having an invitation. Oh, we have a little guest. So I'm going to discuss a little bit about Atlantic provinces. What is AIPP, Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program? So basically, as I said, we here as we can ask governments to bring one of those programs which only support the community. Our AIPP is one of the programs which supports the Atlantic immigration provinces, which is Newfoundland, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and one more. Which one I missed? Prince Edwards. Prince Edwards, okay. Prince Edward is not currently processing the applications, but New Brunswick is not. Prince Edward, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland is working right now. Now, why I said this program could be one of your things. You will only need 1 year of experience to be eligible for this program. It can be either within the community or it can be outside the community as well. As long as that you receive an endorsement letter from that community, like you know how LMIAs are, that's how an endorsement letter is. So it's a letter from EDO department that supports, we are supporting this person's permanent residence. It's called an endorsement letter. If you have that endorsement letter in hand, you can directly apply for permanent residency. You don't have to go through PNP process. Within 6 months, you get your permanent residency. So that's one of the programs that you can go for, Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. They have limited the list of occupation. Earlier, few years back, they were used to do cooks, food supervisors, or the food industry as well. Now, most of the AIP programs has taken off food industry from the list. They don't support in food or you would say hospitality itself. More options are there for people who are under, again, I'm going to repeat, childcare, education, healthcare, science, agriculture, that kind of occupation sectors. So you have to choose very wisely what you want to do in this. But these provinces have their PNP programs, which are not only limited to like BC PNP, that you have to have this much wage and blah, blah, blah. There's nothing. They're very simple criteria for those provinces PNP because they don't have much people there. Right now, everybody is trying to move. Don't move if you don't have a job. Apply if you have a good skill set on your hand. Apply for jobs. Look on their sites. Even their PNP sites would have a job board. Apply for jobs. If you get an interview, then you ask them if you will support PNP, if you will support endorsement. One or the other, if it's supported, better to move from BC to there. More chances to get permanent residence. Most of the students move from Ontario. People who live in GTA area, Either they go to regional areas or they go to direct Atlantic provinces. They don't stay in Ontario. They go there, get their permanency, go back. From BC itself, people who studied in Vancouver and Surrey, they mostly went to Winnipeg to get permanent residency. It was that easy in Winnipeg to get permanent residency. But these days, Winnipeg is also tight. But if you have a good skill set and you have a good occupation, as I mentioned, Winnipeg could be one of the options too. You can research. Don't waste any time on BCPNP for at least this coming 1 year. Try to look for more options, what options you could have. Do your research, then go. Don't just go. Then you're going to be like, Ravi, we moved to Nova Scotia. What do we do here now? Don't do that, please, okay? So the eligibility for endorsement program, as I said, you need a job offer, which is an endorsement letter from the community. And then you have to have 1 year of experience. Minimum education is a high school diploma or a post-secondary diploma that we're doing. Language minimum is CLB4. There's no point system for endorsement program. For AAP, there's no point system. That's a good thing about it. But I don't know how long it's going to continue for. Depends, right? With the number of people they're getting to, the more competition there is going to be, less chances they're going to keep this program open. Sufficient settlement funds, and if you have studied from there, then you don't have to. Or if you're already working there, then you don't have to. So that's the steps. Who can choose this program? If you have an occupation, your job is in healthcare, construction, hospitality. The PNP programs for these provinces do support tier level 4 and 5 as well. So if you have a tier 4 and 5 job, you still could be one of, you can still consider that. But if you want to keep still tier 4 and 5 jobs, like a cleaner job or a cashier job or a supervisor comes under 3, but cashier, let's say, right, or a salesperson, that all comes under tier 4 and 5. If you fall under those categories, then this could be one of the options for you. Now we're going to talk about express entry. Who knows about express entry here? You know what express entry system is? You know a little bit. Express entry is a program that federal government has opened for the immigrants. They can apply directly to federal government to be a permanent resident if they're eligible. There is a pool, basically. Let's say there is a pool. You put your application in the pool, again, expression of interest only, right? You put in there and they calculate the points for you. If, let's say, you had 425 and they do a draw selection, then the cutoff is 425, your application is picked up, then you will get an invitation to apply and you directly apply for your permanent residency. There's no need of an employer to support you. Just you have to show that you have 1 year of experience and you have a certain amount of language requirement that you need to meet, and then your education level is there. So you just have to submit the documents based on what you have tell them about what you have said about your what you have said in your profile, pretty much. Let's say you said I have CLB7. Then when you submit the application, you have to give them the certificate stating you have CLB7 language test. Okay. So there are 3 programs under express entry: Canadian Experience Class, Federal Skilled Worker, and Federal Skilled Trade. 3. Canadian Experience Class is what is getting most of the invitations. Canadian Experience Class means you have minimum 1 year of experience in Canada. Let's say you are working as an educator, early childhood educator, okay? One of the knockouts, early childhood educator. You have 1 year of experience in that. You have CLB7, and you have completed your 2 years of diploma from here. And you're working in anywhere, maybe here in Prince Rupert, right? You're eligible to put your profile under express entry. You can put it there. In 2021, there was a cutoff point of 75 points only for express entry. That's where most of the people got permanent resident. That was the time of panic as well, when everybody was thinking we're not going to get permanent residency. But some people were there, they didn't even create their express entry profile, thinking of that the cutoff is very high. So there's no chance of getting an invitation. But what I suggest to my clients, at least, if you have 1 year of skilled experience, always have your express entry profile. You never know. what's going to happen. You never know. Many miracles happen. So you have to have that express entry profile ready for you. Even if you have a 1 year of experience outside Canada, let's say 1 year of experience outside Canada, because federal skilled worker program that we have, it's for outside Canada people. They're choosing, let's say we don't have enough doctors in Canada. If they're sending occupation specific draw for doctors, if they think that there are more people outside Canada, they will send an invitation for people outside Canada, and they can apply for their permanent residency from outside Canada, and they can come here, land here as permanent resident as well. So better to have an express entry profile rather than not to have it. But you can't count your work experience when you were a student. Any other experience you can count, but not a student experience you can count. So within 3 years, whichever experience you have, if it's 1 year, it doesn't have to be with one employer either. If it's with 2 different employers, you're okay to do that as well. Recent changes. Why express entry is changed too. What has changed in express entry as well? Earlier, there was only used to be general draws. It was only cutoff based. Let's say there are 500 profiles at 500 points. So they're going to just send whatever the highest, let's say they want to pick up 400 people. So whatever the highest points in the pool there are, they will count number of people have it, and then they will send invitation to, based on that, how many people are in there. Let's say they want to send 500 invitations, and there are 500 people who have 500 points in there. So the cutoff will be 500 pretty much. It was not based on education. It wasn't based on language. It wasn't based on the type of occupation you have. Now it's category based. Earlier it wasn't used to be category based. Right? Let's say they say right now what categories they are based on is STEM, healthcare, French, trade, agriculture, and education. Again, you might be hearing a lot out of my mouth. Education, healthcare, and then trade and agriculture. Trade like carpenters, painters, those people, right, can apply for under trade program. Why STEM again? Why healthcare? Why these category-based draws? Why do you think why? They're trying to transform their immigration system from what it is to more upgraded one, as per the need of what Canada needs, right? Earlier, they didn't have people, so they just opened the gate. Now there's so many people. Now they're like, okay, we don't need all of them. What do we do? So they have made a selection criteria, which is a little bit tighter. So they want to pick and choose and see, this is what we need and this is what we don't need. This is what we need and this is what we don't need. And people who are in the category, this is what we don't need, what do they need to do? They need to come into the line where people we need. So you have to work on your skill set. You're going to make sure that you're changing you're working on your career profile, that you're moving from what's not required to what's required. So the major program changes, there are lowest cutoff draws happening for French-speaking people. If you can learn French, this is your time. Leave everything behind. One person should be, if you're a family, drop everything, start learning French. Right? Do what you have to do. First it was English, now it's French. Right? It's tough, no doubt it's tough, but it is. But I'm going to show you guys. This is the recent 10 draws those came for express entry, okay? If you look the ones, those are highlighted in pink. It's education occupation has a draw of, is a cutoff, sorry, right here. Education has a 462, like let's say educators, early childhood educators or education, teacher assistants are there. That knockouts come under there too. So if you have a point of 462 under your express entry profile, you would have gotten an invitation in that day, okay? And then if you look at French language proficiency, it's only at 446, which is doable only if you get CLB 5 in your French language. That's it. If you have French language, 446, anybody who has grade 12 or bachelor's degree, I would say CLB 7, 8, can reach up to that point. It's not hard to get up to that point. So do your IELTS and also your French. That will give you extra points. So you can reach there. So French, one of your strengths that yes, you can learn or you can speak, go for that. That could be your program. Health and social services has a cutoff draw of 470. Anything below 500, I think it's still doable, but uh, not 500, 525, unless you have master's degree, very good CLB, and the occupation that they need. It's in the occupation in demand category. So choose again wisely what you think, what you can work on, what's your skill set, what you need to work on, right? How many of you here know French? Nobody. So how many of you think you can learn French? You think you can? There you go. Learn and then be a teacher. Open a center here, teach everybody else, and earn money. No permanent residency, that's fine. Earn some money, man. At least, right? Good business idea, isn't it? All right. RCIP I already discussed with you guys, but just gonna show you what cities under BC comes under RCIP. So West Kootenay, Trail, Castlegar, Nelson, Vernon, Salmonarm, and Dubai. I don't even know where that is. Fort St. John and Dawson Creek. Fort St. John I know, Dawson Creek I know. Yeah, these are the cities that come under RCIP. If you can find an employer who can support you for PR through RCIP, there are chances you will get your permanent residency in that as well. You only need 1 year of experience anywhere, not only in the community, anywhere you can. And CLB requirement is that not that high. Education minimum is going to be fine. Secondary school is okay, as long as you have support from the community. So these are the cities. You can note down or take a picture, or you can Google it. Google will tell you what BC, what cities in BC falls under RCIP category. And we have Ravi here from Ontario. These cities come under RCIP in Ontario, so I just thought to mention. He might be able to get you a job, right? Yeah, he might be able to get you a job. It's just if we know that there are people looking for, we always come across employers and we can refer. If we don't know you're there and you're looking for it, then we probably don't talk about it, that we have people. All right, any questions so far? Any questions? No questions? Yeah, go ahead.
So when you talk about education, for a lot of this PNP program, um, being an education assistant, is it a part of it or just teachers?
In what regards are you asking? BCPNP or Express Entry?
Both
So
BCPNP
if you're thinking about BCPNP, go on BCPNP side and look for the occupation sectors, and then it will give you a list of the knock codes that fall under education, and you will see your knock code there. If it's that educational assistants are there or not, it's a big list of people who are eligible or not. But basically, search it there. Teacher assistants are educators, early childhood educators are, teachers are part of it too. And if you want to look for express entry, go Google search express entry eligibility criteria, and then you will find this. It will ask you to select from a drop-down menu. If you want to look for healthcare knock codes, it will give you healthcare knock codes. If you want to look for education, it will give you education knock codes. It's not mandatory that what falls under education under BCPNP will also fall under express entry. So you will have to look for both places depending on that.
also like doing a, because the way it is now, like some colleges and all are doing like a 6 months, 8 months course. Would that be make one eligible for that kind of for like
PGWP?
yes, for education assistants?
For express entry,
Yes.
are you talking about practicums or?
No, not practicums. Like some colleges are doing like a 8 months course, like a 6 months certificate to become an early childhood assistant. So
Assistants
does
are
that
not eligible for BCPNP anymore.
okay?
So that's why they took it out, because everybody was doing that less 6 months course and then applying as an assistant. Um, Educators are, but for educators, there is no 6 months program. You have to go through a 2 years program. Yes. For education, draw for express entry, you can look there. The education assistants come in the list there too. As long as in the province where you're working, you have the certificate from there, you can fall under express entry category.
Thank
No worries. Ontario doesn't have a requirement. If you want to work as a early childhood educator assistant, Ontario doesn't have the requirement of having a license for as an assistant to work. You can just start working as an assistant without license. If you want to work as an educator, then you need a license.
pathway for PL, like
Yes.
working as an education assistant.
The
in
PNP
Ontario.
program giving invitations to assistants as well.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and you don't need a license for that either. You can go ahead and ask, that's fine.
So we would have to work in Ontario as an education assistant to be able to like apply for PNP
Ajit,
or
your kind of question it is. To work as an educator assistant, if you're applying for PNP, it has to be in Ontario or outside Ontario works too. In Ontario, it has to be in Ontario.
okay.
Full-time job offer, so you need an employer to support you.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I can assist with that if you want to ever do that. I'm an employer.
My question goes, what's the new rule for eligibility criteria for spousal open work permits? The latest one.
Can I finish this and then we come to spousal work? Oh, actually, I can cover. We have to start anymore. Spousal open work permit of a student or a worker? Worker. You should have. Yep. For yes, the new rules. You have to have a job offer in NOC code tier level 2 or 3. If your job is in tier 2 or 3, there are specific NOC codes those fall under there. Let's say you were a food service supervisor. Earlier, you could have done your spouse open work permit application because it falls under tier 3. But as per today, not all NOC codes those fall under tier 2 are eligible to apply for spouse open work permit. So if it's tier 2 or 3, there's specific NOC codes. But if it's tier 0 or 1, then you don't have to think about what's your NOC code. Let's say you're an assistant manager, right? Then you don't have to, you can directly go, there's no limit. If I can actually show you guys to what list it falls under. If you will look for spousal open work permit, tier 2 NOC codes, eligible NOC codes, it will give you a list of the NOC codes, what falls under tier 2. Let's say you're a carpenter, you're a painter, you are a roofer, right? They're kind of, for female, I think for tier 2, you can do, what other things? Painter 2, right? Yeah, one of those jobs you can, if you're tier 2, tier 3 as well, there is a selection of NOC codes. Only those people can. So if you are done doing your PGWP at the moment, let's say today you have to do it. If you don't have that job at the moment, then you can do your spouse open work permit. You have to have that specific job. Or you can find any job under tier 0 or 1. If that's there, then you can apply for your spouse open work permit. If your tier category is 4 or 5, you cannot apply at all. No, full-time. Well, then you should wait for PGWP submitted and then submit your spouse's application, right? If it's full-time. No, I'm just doing maths in my brain. Anyways, the question to your answer is, I hope you got it. Did you get the answer what I mean? Okay. When are you graduating? December. A lot of things on your plate at the moment to think about. Yeah. So what other question was there? Was there another one? That's the only question you had? Okay. Can I move forward? Okay. Anyone has any more questions?
In May, they brought out an update about those applying, those under social services should have a diploma to apply. But the recent one they brought out, was it last 2 weeks or so? They didn't indicate anything like that. They only put for, I think, childhood educators or something like
Yeah,
that.
as I said, they're not sending it to everybody. What it says, it says a lot of things on the site. Even the educators, there hasn't been any recent draws for that either.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even for social workers, if you fall under that, as I said, there's not very many high chances that It's under healthcare,
Yeah, it's
though.
under
Yeah, it's
healthcare.
under healthcare. So you might be, if there's a draw under healthcare, depends how high your score is.
But my question is, did the update they brought out before the recent one, does it still apply that they must have a diploma in that field?
I have to look into that. I don't have a
Okay.
direct answer to that.
Okay.
I'll just hold on to that and then I'll get back to you. Basically, if you look for the knock code of your job, and under the skills and education required, if it's there that you need it, then you need it. If not, then you don't need it. For express entry at least, but if it's for BCPNP, then it's their own criteria. We have to follow that. I am not 100% sure about that. I can check and let you know. Okay. Yeah. Anyone else? Are we good? Okay. Pastor Austin also has asked me to go through the LMIA process. So as you guys are, I don't know how many of you are here whose work permit is going to expire, and it was a PGWP program. So PGWP is only issued once lifetime. So once you complete a 2 years program, you're issued a 3 years work permit and it's expiring now. What would you do? What options are there? If your permanent residency application is not in process at the moment, then the only option you have is apply for closed work permit, which will require an LMIA to support your work permit. Second thing would be go through French test. If you do French, then you can apply for an open work permit as well. So two options you would have. Both are difficult, equally difficult, but yeah, but that's the option. If your PGWP or your work permit in general, let's say spouse open work permit is expiring, and you are on a student visa, you PGW, but you don't have a job, would your spouse do? One option they have is they can go on a visitor status. Second option they have is they can get an LMIA and get a work permit supported on their own behalf. So that's why I wanted to cover LMIAs today. LMIA is issued by ESDC department, so basically Service Canada. So there used to be three categories for LMIA: low wage, high wage, and peer support. Peer support is paused at the moment. Low wage is not possible to do. So they said if any city whose unemployment rate is more than 6%, they cannot apply for low wage LMIAs. I mean, they can apply, but ESDC won't process their LMIAs. So the only option you will have is high wage. So any occupation, how do you put it? If you are offered a wage of $36 per hour, only those LMIAs will be processed. So high wage, they have an income threshold of $36. If it's higher than that, great. If it's less than that, then LMIA won't be approved. So if you're looking to ask your employer that I need an LMIA, then it has to be a position that justifies the wage of $36, and then you can apply for LMIA. Otherwise, it won't be possible to do. So if your wage is $16 and you need an LMIA, it's not going to be possible going forward. It's not, at least not for this year, until they give us more instructions on that. Anybody want to know what are employer requirements for LMIA, or we good? Not interested. Cool. Saves my time. Immigration fraud. This is something I want to talk about for sure. The authority that issues the license to RCIC is Regulated Canadian Immigration Consultants. How do you know if this is the person I want to go to? So CICC is the authority that issues licenses to Regulated Canadian Immigration Consultants. We have to do a certain amount of study and then do the challenge exam, and then they issue us the license to practice as an immigration consultant. So if you are going and asking somebody to assist you or represent you with one application, or going to ask for consultancy, how do you know if that person is authorized person or is just who knows who she is? Okay, so you go on CICC website. You can search for the consultant list of consultants on their site. If you know the name of the person, you can put the name on of the consultant. You can search for it, and it will give you the list of the consultants down there. So myself, Ravi Paji, and Gurpreet, all three of us are there. If you guys will have to search, you can just go and search, and you will see our CIC number on there. If the person is not there, then they're legally not authorized to represent you guys. Okay. Always look forward, do your research and see if the person is authorized or not. and what kind of services they're offering you. They're signing the written agreements with you guys or not. If they're not signing a written agreement, there could be something fishy about it. If they are asking you to pay for a job that they're gonna arrange for you, it's a no. Just be aware of what your rights are and what your rights are not. Stay away from those people who are trying to, trap you. But do your research, who's eligible and who's not. That's all, I guess, from my side. Any more questions? Any more questions? No? Let's call it a day. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. And me, Vipaji, and Gurpreet are here to help you guys with any consultancy sessions if you guys want to book one-on-one. We are here today. We are here tomorrow all day. And then Monday morning, I have shared a link with Austin for the booking the session. If you want to book it through him, that's great. If not, then these are the numbers and email ID. You can contact us direct, and then we will give you a spot what's available. There is a $75 consultancy fees at present. For half an hour session, there is a $75 fees. You guys can call us. We can book it through there. Are you saying something to me? Okay. I thought he's saying something. Anyways, yeah, if you guys want to book the sessions, go ahead. You can do one-on-one. If you guys don't have time to do it today, tomorrow, or let's say down the road, if you guys would need any help or any consultancy sessions, feel free to give me a call and we'll book a session online. We can do Zoom meeting always. I'm there to help you guys. Any questions, we will answer. Again, thank you so much for having us, and thank you for coming to join us. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you. All right, this is done. I don't know where is Austin. Oh,
Okay.